Welcome everybody. We have today Mr. Glen Baillie, and he's a man of many hats. So we're going to do this in 3 parts. So first we're going to talk about his local business and being a local entrepreneur to the area. So welcome. Thank you so much for doing this, Glen.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Garrett, at this point.
Okay, to get us started, Glen had his own shop that he owned the building and had all the fun jobs of being a landlord of that building on 81st Crescent for 15 years.
Yep.
And they actually are going to they're tearing up the road right now on 81st Crescent. We might get to that in part 3 of here. But now he is on River Road, and we're in the art gallery right now. So he owns and rents the one side, and the Sunset Arts Gallery owns the other side. And why don't you tell me a little bit about this awesome collaboration of different artists coming together, yourself, your wife, pottery, all that.
So there's been a presence of artists down on River Road for 15 years now, and maybe even a little longer. Sunset Arts was in the one section. We're on 63 River Road, and I was in a separate small store on the other side, and the same landlord, obviously. So we changed the nature of our business. I'm trying to retire a little bit, so I wanted to slow down my hours and product mix. So what we did is we took out our production equipment and off-sited a lot of the picture framing part, and that gave us an opportunity. We put a hole in the wall so the 2 stores are joined, and now we've got artists in the area where we used to do picture framing. So it used to be, there were 8 or 9 artists over here, and none on my side, just the picture framing part. So now we have 22 artists working awesome. Sunset Arts, and they're all local. There's one of the artists from Strathroy and another from the north end of London. Everyone else in this co-op venture is a local artist, and it just shows you the depth of talent. There's a mix of people, young and old, but they've been here. Some of them make their living as full productive artists. For others, it's more of an augmented thing, or some just have the creative urge and it gives them a venue for people to see their work. And so it's really neat coming into work every day to see all this stuff, because it changes all the time.
Well, and that brings me to a great point. As the Christmas season's coming upon us, buy local. You have an incredible resource and store to walk into, some incredible talent in some of those art facets I'd already mentioned. So Christmas shopping, come on into the store, see Glen, and check out all the local artists here.
And the very unique thing, because it's a co-op structure among the artists, they pay to keep the rent, they all chip in for the rent. There's no commission structure, so what you see for a price is a lot lower than you would see in a commercial venue.
Right.
And so, because the artist gets what the artist gets. So it's a value shopping opportunity for unique, handmade, artisanal, and artistic works. It's really a broad selection of stuff.
Really love that. Our area is always attracting people from different parts outside of Grand Bend. You've been in business for a long time in town. Where are your consumers coming from?
We've had customers come. I've been in business since 1978, and then when that interweb thing got started up, we had customers phoning us and sourcing us. So we ship all over Canada. The majority have done that in the past. So our customers really come from all over, but the joy in doing it here in a small town, you've got reasonably affluent people, or those who buy picture framing, and Grand Bend's chock full of people with time on their hands, a new home perhaps, because they are always moving here. And so we're busy with people who, if they're not locals today, they're going to be locals tomorrow. They're in the process of, establishing roots in the Grand Bend area. As the picture framing business has changed, we get customers from all up and down the lakeshore, inland, routinely.
Love that. We're going to get into a couple hats I already explained today, but one of your hats is a Grand Bend Chamber. Are you president right now, vice president?
Okay, so I'm acting past president because our last president is on maternity leave. So I'm having to fill in because I've been past president now for about 5 years. So-
Okay. Why should every business owner be a part of the Grand Bend Chamber of Commerce and area?
Well, one of the things about Grand Bend is we are away from most of the what you would call urban areas. And out here, I mean, there are some chain stores starting to put their foot in, but it's independence out here. And we support one another in a variety of ways. It's there's political lobbying is probably the wrong word, but influence. Just the aspect of speaking louder with a host of voices, finding out what is the best way forward from people who make their own living. They're not dependent on what their boss says because their boss is the customer. So it's a very immediate way of finding out what people need in the business community. Grand Bend's commercial area is just thriving now as the population has grown, and there's more and more businesses that are open all year. When we moved and opened our business here in 2004, it was thin gruel for businesses that were open all year, and now it's not a surprise at all. More on that as we go through. There's shoulder season events and there's lots going on.
Great. Okay, well, that wraps up part one, and stay tuned for part two.